You've triple-checked your passport, your bags are packed, and you're ready to step onto that shimmering cruise, only to be told, without warning, sorry you can't board. This is Warning: 11 Wild Reasons Cruises Deny Boarding in 2025. And if you think having a ticket is enough, you're about to learn how a tiny typo, a decades-old DUI, or even the wrong t-shirt can destroy your entire vacation before it starts. Miss one microscopic detail and you could lose thousands with zero recourse. The most surprising traps aren't in the fine print. They're hidden in rules cruise lines don't want you to notice. So, how many of these dangers could leave even the most prepared traveler stranded at the dock? Number 11. A single typo in your booking details can destroy your entire vacation before it even begins. Cruise lines now run every reservation through automated passenger screening systems that cross-check your name, letter by letter, against government records. If your booking says J, but your passport says J, the computer doesn't ask questions, it just rejects your manifest. One traveler learned this the hard way when a single letter mismatch triggered an instant denial. The system flagged the error, and the cruise line couldn't fix it before departure. The traveler watched the ship leave from the terminal, their vacation lost to a harmless typo made months earlier. It's not just about first names either. Hyphens, middle initials, even minor spacing differences can cause an auto-reject. These systems are designed to prevent fraud and meet international security rules, but they don't care if the mistake was an honest slip or a computer autofill. Once the manifest is rejected, manual overrides are rare, especially during peak boarding. The cruise line's terms are clear. Your booking record must exactly match your legal ID. If it doesn't, you're out, and refunds are almost never offered for data errors. To avoid this nightmare, check every letter of your reservation the moment you receive confirmation. Don't wait until check-in. By then, it's often too late. Even seasoned travelers get caught by these invisible algorithms. In 2025, precision isn't just smart. It's the only way to keep your vacation from vanishing over a typo you didn't even notice. Number 10. Your birth certificate might not be official enough to get you on board. Closed-loop cruises, the ones that start and end at the same US port, let you sail without a passport if you show an original, state-issued birth certificate. But here is the trap. Not all birth certificates are created equal. Hospital-issued forms, the ones with little footprints or fancy borders, will not cut it. Cruise lines require a state-issued document with a raised or embossed seal, and anything less can leave you stranded at the terminal. Debbie Schwab and her mother Blanche White learned this lesson the hard way. In Fort Lauderdale, their 1969 hospital birth certificate was rejected by Celebrity Summit staff. The document looked official, but it lacked the raised seal and did not come from the State Vital Records Office. Their entire vacation evaporated in minutes. The cruise line's terms are blunt. If your paperwork is not state-issued and certified, you are out. No exceptions, no refunds. This is not rare. Dozens of travelers every year show up with old hospital forms or commemorative certificates, only to watch their ship sail away. Even certified copies can be a problem if they are missing security features or were issued before major format changes. Some states overhauled their birth certificate designs after 2008, adding watermarks and anti-fraud seals. If your document predates these updates, it might not pass muster. To avoid this disaster, order a new certified copy directly from your state's Vital Records office before you cruise. Do not rely on anything from a hospital, and do not assume that being born in the US is enough. The rules are strict, and the system will not bend for family heirlooms or decades-old paperwork. When it comes to cruise boarding, only the right document gets you on the ship. Number 9. Your favorite vacation outfit could get you stopped before you even see the ship. In 2025, wearing camouflage clothing isn't just a fashion risk. It's a legal one, especially on Caribbean itineraries. Several islands, including Barbados, Jamaica, St. Lucia, and Trinidad and Tobago, have strict laws banning civilians from wearing any form of camo, whether it's a shirt, hat, or even a backpack with a pattern that looks military-inspired. The rule isn't about style, it's about public safety and making sure no one is mistaken for law enforcement or military personnel. Travelers have found out the hard way that these laws are enforced. In Barbados, authorities confiscate camo items right at the port, and fines can reach up to $2,000 for repeat offenders. There are documented cases of passengers being pulled aside by customs officers, forced to surrender their clothing, and even facing police questioning over a camo print baseball cap. One fashion-conscious traveler on a spring break cruise spent 3 hours in a port security office after local police flagged his shorts. His group missed their shore excursion, and the ship's staff made it clear: break the law in port, and you risk being denied reboarding. The cruise lines do warn passengers. Royal Caribbean's app and Carnival's pre-cruise emails both mention the ban, but the details often get buried under packing lists and excursion reminders. The problem? Even a small camo accent on a bag or a child's t-shirt can trigger a stop. Local authorities make the call, not the cruise staff, and their decisions are final. Once an item is confiscated, you won't get it back, and if you're deemed non-compliant, you could be fined or denied entry to the country altogether. The safest move is to double-check the rules for every port before you pack. Leave anything with a camouflage pattern at home, no matter how harmless it seems. What passes in Miami or London could get you sidelined in Bridgetown. In the Caribbean, the wrong print can mean losing your spot on the ship and your entire vacation with it. Number 8. A decades-old DUI can still ruin your Alaska cruise before you ever set foot on the ship. One Alaska-bound traveler learned this lesson in the worst way when Canadian immigration flagged his name during the manifest check. His DUI conviction was over 20 years old. He had completed his sentence, never had another run-in with the law, and assumed the past was behind him. But Canada treats impaired driving as serious criminality under its immigration code, and that policy changed for good after December 2018. The old 10-year forgiveness rule no longer applies. Now, even a single conviction from decades ago can make you permanently inadmissible unless you have gone through a lengthy rehabilitation process or secured a temporary resident permit. For Alaska cruises departing from Seattle or anywhere in the US, nearly every itinerary includes a stop in Canada, usually Victoria, British Columbia. Cruise lines are required by law to send their full passenger list to Canadian authorities before departure. When the government spots a record that makes someone inadmissible, they notify the cruise line, and the line almost always denies boarding right at the terminal. That is what happened to this passenger. He arrived at the port, luggage in hand, only to be quietly pulled aside by cruise staff. There was no appeal, no last-minute fix. The ship sailed north without him, and his vacation vanished over a mistake made decades earlier. Canada does not just check for violent crimes. Even one DUI or reckless driving conviction, no matter how old, can trigger a denial. The only way around it is to apply for criminal rehabilitation, a process that takes at least a year and costs hundreds of dollars, or to get a special permit for your trip. And the cruise line will not refund your fare if you are turned away for this reason. It is not just Canada either. Australia and New Zealand have similar entry rules. The bottom line, your criminal record can follow you to the gangway, and the only way to protect your trip is to research every port's entry laws and get legal clearance long before you book. When it comes to past offenses, the cruise line will not take chances, and you could be left behind for something you thought was long forgotten. Mandatory safety drills aren't just a formality. They're a legal requirement under the Safety of Life at Sea Treaty. Every passenger, whether it's their first cruise or their 50th, must complete the muster drill before the ship can depart. Gone are the days of crowding into hallways for a roll call. In 2005, most cruise lines use e-muster technology. You scan your cruise card at your assigned station, watch a short safety video, and confirm attendance electronically. The system tracks every passenger. If you skip the drill, the computer knows, and so does the crew. Enforcement is immediate. In one recent case, a couple decided to stay at the bar instead of heading to their muster station. Their cruise cards never registered at the drill. Within an hour, crew informed them they were being removed from the ship. The couple was escorted off before the ship even left port, losing their vacation and their fare. No refund, no appeal. The rules are clear. If you don't complete the muster drill, you don't sail. But it isn't just about safety compliance. Cruise contracts include a wide-reaching comfort and safety clause, giving staff the authority to deny boarding or remove anyone whose condition could disrupt other guests. This includes personal hygiene. While explicit denials for odor are rare, cruise lines reserve the right to act if a passenger's presence could affect the comfort or health of others. The decision usually falls to the ship's captain or medical staff, and it's not always about willful neglect. Sometimes, the issue is medical. Trimethylaminuria, known as fish odor syndrome, is a rare metabolic disorder that can cause a strong, persistent smell. One unnamed passenger with this condition was told at check-in that unless the issue could be resolved immediately, boarding would not be allowed. The family missed their cruise, lost their fare, and left the port embarrassed and frustrated. The comfort safety clause isn't just about body odor. It covers any condition, physical, behavioral, or medical, that could impact others. For passengers with disabilities or medical issues that might raise questions about comfort or hygiene, the best move is to contact the cruise line's special needs department before booking. Provide documentation, get written confirmation, and make sure you're cleared to board. Don't wait until embarkation to address potential issues. The decision can be swift and final at the terminal. The takeaway: muster drills and comfort clauses aren't optional. The staff have the tools and the authority to enforce them instantly. In 2025, a missed card scan or a subjective call about personal hygiene can end your cruise before it begins. Number 7. Pregnancy restrictions that blindside expecting travelers. Cruise lines enforce a strict 24-week pregnancy cutoff, and there is no flexibility, even with a doctor's note. Kaylee Farrington learned this at the terminal in Brisbane, Australia. She was 26 weeks pregnant, cleared by her obstetrician, and had all her paperwork. Carnival staff reviewed her documents and still refused to let her board. The policy was absolute. Anyone who will reach their 24th week of pregnancy at any point during the cruise is denied boarding. No refund, no appeal, no exceptions. The reasoning is simple. Medical emergencies at sea are risky, and cruise ships are not equipped for premature deliveries. But the impact is brutal. Kaylee's family lost thousands, and her story is not unique. Carnival's own terms spell it out. Pregnant guests who have entered or will enter their 24th week of pregnancy before or during the cruise will not be permitted to sail. Number 8. Documentation traps for families traveling with minors. Anyone under 21 cannot sail alone in their own cabin on most US-based cruise lines. Carnival's policy requires at least one guest 21 or older in every stateroom, and some lines bump the minimum to 25 for spring break sailings. It catches a lot of college groups and blended families off guard. Picture this. A group of 20-year-olds books a spring break cruise, pays in full, and shows up in Miami, only to be turned away at the terminal because nobody in the cabin is old enough. There is no workaround at the port, and the cruise line keeps the fare. Traveling with kids who are not your own, that is another pitfall. Grandparents, aunts, and even family friends need notarized consent letters from both parents for any minor traveling without them. These are not just formalities. Border agents and cruise staff can demand the paperwork at check-in, especially on international itineraries. Without it, the child and the entire party may be denied boarding. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection and cruise lines both warn, notarized consent is a must, and a simple printout will not cut it. One grandmother traveling with her grandson was stopped in Galveston when she could not produce the right letter. Their vacation ended before it started. Infant travelers face their own hurdle. Most cruise lines require babies to be at least 6 months old on the day of embarkation. Some itineraries, like transatlantic or remote routes, require a minimum age of 1 year. Parents who show up with a newborn, even just a week shy of the cutoff, are turned away with no refund. The rules are non-negotiable and strictly enforced. The bottom line, families need to check every policy, every timeline, and every document before booking. Pregnancy past 24 weeks means no cruise, no matter what your doctor says. Minors without notarized parental consent cannot board, and infants under 6 months old are automatically out. When it comes to family travel, cruise lines play by the book, and one missing signature or miscalculated due date can erase an entire vacation. Number 6. Your fully paid booking isn't always a guarantee you'll step on board. Cruise lines now use dynamic revenue algorithms that treat cabins like airline seats, sometimes selling more rooms than the ship actually has. When demand spikes or last-minute cancellations don't pan out, confirmed passengers can be left stranded at the terminal, even after months of planning and payment in full. In November 2023, multiple families with valid reservations for Royal Caribbean's Quantum of the Seas arrived in Brisbane, only to be handed letters explaining there was no room left for them. Some were offered standby status, others were told the ship was simply oversold. The line's compensation, a full refund plus a future cruise credit, but no help with extra hotel nights, airfare changes, or the cost of a ruined vacation. Stranded families scrambled for last-minute alternatives, while the ship sailed at capacity. This isn't a technical glitch. It's a calculated risk by the cruise line, and it blindsides travelers who thought their plans were locked in. Overbooking can turn a dream trip into a nightmare, with little warning and even less recourse. Number 5. Your dream cruise can vanish if your booking number falls into the wrong hands. One Kentucky family learned this the hard way after sharing a countdown post on Facebook, not realizing their Carnival confirmation number was visible. Within days, someone in British Columbia used that number to hijack their $15,000 presidential suite reservation. The intruder created a fake Carnival account, linked the family's booking, and canceled the trip just 2 days before departure, timed perfectly to block any refund. Carnival's system never alerted the original account holder, and by the time the family landed in Miami, their cabin had been resold. Carnival offered them 2 inside rooms as a replacement, but the vacation they had planned for over a year was gone. The culprit needed only a booking number and a last name, details that are often shared online without a second thought. Carnival now requires more information to access bookings, but the lesson is clear. Never post confirmation numbers or barcodes on social media. One screenshot can cost you everything. Winning a credit card chargeback against a cruise line can cost you more than a vacation. It can get you banned for life. Christy Cook found this out after her Alaska cruise with Norwegian. She had booked 2 cabins for her family, but they weren't connected as promised. After a week of complaints, NCL offered her $3,000 in future cruise credits. She accepted the vouchers, then filed a $3,000 chargeback with American Express, claiming the credits were owed as a cash refund. The bank sided with her at first, but NCL didn't fight it. They just put her and her family on their do not sail list. That meant no more NCL cruises, no matter how much she was willing to pay, until the money was repaid. Even after she lost the chargeback on appeal, the ban stuck. Only after settling the debt did Norwegian allow her to book again. The blacklist wasn't limited to her, it extended to her family and potentially across NCL's sister brands. For cruise lines, a chargeback isn't the end of the fight. It's the start of a permanent lockout. One disputed charge can erase years of loyalty, and the only way back is to pay up in full. In 2023 alone, cruise lines processed over 20 million passengers, yet thousands faced denial for reasons rarely publicized, ranging from a single booking typo to a decades-old DUI. This documentary revealed how a missing raised seal on a 1969 birth certificate cost one family $3,000, while Carnival's 24-week pregnancy cutoff and Canada's strict criminal inadmissibility laws continue to catch travelers off guard. Official documents confirm that overbooking, social media mishaps, and even credit card chargebacks now trigger lifetime bans across major brands. Still, cruise lines do not disclose the full scope of their do not sail lists, and there is no industry-wide transparency on how many are affected each year. What remains certain is that modern travel involves complex layers of bureaucracy, legal risk, and corporate policy, often with little warning or recourse. As of 2025, the only guarantee is that even perfect paperwork is no longer enough. Vigilance over every detail is now essential for any traveler hoping to board.